Land me on to Cleveland. Go. Do it. Hello, everybody. Welcome. It is Sci-Fi Sunday, and coincidentally, also Easter. And tonight, I am joined by my good pals, Trenchy, Soulless Trenchcoat, my other good friend right over there in the corner, Jen from Jen's Reviews in the Grave, my good pal, Kara, she is from Master of Fear, and my other good friend, very good pal, Marty from the Trash Picture Show. And we're here, and we're ready to talk Howard the Duck. Guys, Howard the Duck, thoughts?
I don't hate this movie. I enjoy this movie, and I enjoy the comic as well, because comic came out in 1973. It was by Steve Gruber, who was a dude who never actually knew he wanted to be a comic book writer. I think him and you probably have notes of this as well. Another guy called Mel Maychik or Kachik came up with the character, and it was essentially like a parody on true crime and stuff like that. And he was an extension of the character, the artist and the writer as well, because they were bored of doing Conan, and the thing is, Marvel didn't know what to do with him either. They usually ended up teaming him up with Mantine. I think the biggest kind of mainstream thing, he was in the Defenders team, but he usually ended up teaming up with like Red Sonja. They didn't know what to do with the character, and that's what I like about him. He's an outlier in a comic book industry that has like outliers all over the place. But he doesn't even fit in. Like Garber in Marvel, he didn't fit in there, and he still doesn't to this day. And that's why he's an indelible character. That's why I like him.
Yeah, they brought him. His debut was in a Man-Thing comic, Adventure into Fear number 19, which was released in 1973, obviously, since his inception. And yeah, he'd eventually get his own book in 1976 with Howard the Duck number 1, and this was pretty weird. It was sort of a more adult-oriented Marvel comic. And Disney promptly got mad and attempted to sue Marvel because they thought that the character looked too much like Howard the Duck. So they redesigned him and they gave him like a tie and a suit and some pants. And then Disney couldn't say anything.
Yeah, the earlier versions of him did look like Donald. I remember being confused. I first came by the character when I was reading a Defenders comic, and I was like, why the fuck is Donald Duck there, and why is he dressed this way? But yeah, he's an interesting character. I like the fact in the comic, like in the movie, he's a bit of he's a pussy hound in the comic. He's a pussy hound, like in the movie, and he's a hard drinking, hard smoking kind of duck. And I think Garber kind of wanted to do. I don't know if they came out at the same time, but I think he was kind of Garber's version of Fritz the Cat as well. That's what I like about the character.
Yeah, which
he also had a crossover. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead, Kara. Sorry.
I was gonna say he had a crossover comic with Spider-Man, and that was the first time I knew about the dude in the comic books. I knew about the movie, but I didn't know he was in the comics until I saw that crossover with Spider-Man. He's also in Lego Marvel Superheroes, the video game. You unlock him. You can run around in him.
While Howard the Duck didn't have any superpowers as such, I mean, apparently he has a talent for using magic, which Doctor Strange actually wanted to teach him. He wanted to train him, and Howard the Duck said no. But he doesn't have any superpowers. But I always sort of thought of him more as like Marvel's Mxyzptlk. You know, he's just this oddball character that comes in, and it sort of breaks the mood of whatever he's crossing over with, ever so slightly.
Yeah.
But no, it's a neat concept. And I can't help but wonder if maybe the movie would have been a bit more successful if they didn't try to tone down the adult humor and aim it more towards kids.
Yeah, I think the rating system failed this film because there's nothing about it that screams a kid film besides it being a talking duck. If you watch the movie, it seems there's nothing in it like really for kids except for maybe the plane chase scene. It's more like adult humor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
like 'cause
People back then weren't ready for an adult, like R-rated comedy about a talking duck. I didn't think, like now you got stuff like Rick and Morty, which is more kid like story, but for adults. But I don't know if they were ready for like that, like a story about a silly talking duck could be for adults.
Are you saying Howard the Duck was ahead of its time?
Yes, I am.
Ah,
I can see that in a serious way.
oh, sorry, Jen, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just was saying I agree with Trenchy. I think it is ahead of its time because this might have been a lot bigger of a hit had it come out maybe 5-10 years later. You know, because even South Park to a certain degree. I mean, you know, people tend to think that these sort of things is only for kids and cartoons are only for kids, but not really. Like this kind of showed the way it was one of the maybe not the first, but one of the first. So I agree with Trenchy.
Now, as a lot of people know, this is produced by, one of the producers, the most notable one, is George Lucas. And he initially wanted the film to be animated, but the studios pushed for it to be live action, which actually I think that could have lent itself to more adult humor. Not saying that there wasn't adult humor in this movie. If you watch it, there's adult humor all throughout it.
Yeah. There's like again, I think the character, what you're saying, Ethel, is with the character's kind of persona and stuff, he would have been. He's a lot more kind of conducive of Ralph Bakshi's. I'm after forgetting the cash. Christ, Felix? No, not Felix.
Fritz.
Fritz
the cash. Thank you. So yeah, that was successful. So yeah, they should have gone with the animated thing. It would have, I think, suited it. Because like again, they do try some of the adult humor, but some of it is just like, did I just see an anthropomorphic duck with breasts? What the fuck? You just had.
Oh, no.
Which
quack quack.
There's a couple scenes where you see duck tits in this movie. The first scene you might think is the one where he's crashing on the lounging chair, but no. Actually, the first scene is when he sits down in the chair, doesn't like what he sees on TV, and decides to do a little adult reading, which we kind of know where this might lead. Thank goodness he got sucked through the wall and into space, because I did not want to see Howard the Duck's after work.
I wondered if it'd be like a big runny egg yolk.
But he opens up the he opens up the Play Duck magazine, and you see duck tits and duck eggs.
Goddamn duck tits.
It's weird. Now, and I'm going to get a little bit into my own history here, but when I first saw this movie, I was very young because this came out in 1986, and I saw it probably 1987 when it was released on HBO. And I never picked up on any of that. The only thing I did pick up on was the duck tits and the odd romantic relationship he has with Leah Thompson in the film, which is strange, but I mean, it's cool, you know, whatever.
Love is love, Ethel. Love is love.
Well, you know, initially, they got a little bit of a heat from religious groups, the same kind of religious groups that gave Leah Thompson heat when she was in Back to the Future, because of the scene with her and Marty in the car. You know, because the incest. And then she's in this movie, and they kind of got angry because they're like, well, that's bestiality and that's against the Bible and blah, blah, blah. And I thought about it for a good long while, and it's not technically bestiality because Howard the Duck, while being a duck, is actually an alien. So technically, it's I don't know what you call it when a human has sex with an extraterrestrial, but whatever you call it, it's that technically.
Some people would call it hot, Ethel. Some people would call it hot.
It's a duck and a person, Jen. No. You gotta draw the
Terrestrial.
Yeah,
Lena Thompson is the one that initiates both encounters. She's the one that wants to fuck Marty in the car, and she wants to fuck Howard. Howard says no.
Why is she always trying to fuck things that you're not supposed to fuck?
Because new experiences, you have to open your mind and your legs to new experiences, people. New experiences. Plus, you guys know ducks have corkscrew dicks, and so, like, you know, wee! Just imagine in your bags.
Oh, no.
They also said no, so technically she's going to sexually assault them, which is not okay.
It can't
but
be, you know.
I don't know. I think secretly, like, I don't even want to talk about this scene as much as we are already. I mean, I was just going to mention it, but a little bit later. But I don't know. I think Howard was kind of into it, and his protest was more because of the taboo nature of it. But he did get aroused because he saw the feathers come up.
Yeah, those feathers were stiff.
Exactly, Marty. Exactly.
Exactly. I see what you did there. Exactly.
But moving on from that scene just for a minute, I'm gonna get into the nuts and bolts of the film. Who made it? Who's in it? This was directed by William What? I don't know. I still can't pronounce his name. But if you've heard me say that name before, or it sounds familiar, because you have heard me say that name before, and it is familiar, because we all watched one of his movies on Watch Along. I'm, of course, talking about Messiah of Evil.
Oh.
Very cool.
Yeah, he was, as well as the writer and director on this film, he was the writer and director on Messiah of Evil, and he was also the director for French Postcards and Best Defense.
Oh, that's quite a filmography.
Yeah, and he was also a writer on Temple of Doom.
Cool, I did not know that. Cool.
That's probably where he called in a favor for George Lucas. That's probably it's like, come on, George.
Now,
I
initially,
like Temple of Doom, damn it.
initially, Lucas wanted John Landis to direct this.
I could see that working, actually. I would love to have seen what John Landis would have done with this, actually.
Well, as it turns out, Landis was open to the idea until he read the script. And you'd think that, oh, what was it, like the objection to potential alien on human bestiality? What was it? Was it the nude titties in the first scene? What was it? The slightly adult humor and the kids' moves? No, it was the car chase near the end with the police cars crashing. He felt it was too close to Blues Brothers.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Makes sense.
It was that's what made him not want to do it. Card.
Well, all the other
It's a
points
good
Ethel brought
movie.
up would make me want to do it, you know. Hell yeah, sign me up!
But I don't know. I'm kind of glad it wasn't an animated feature because I think the Howard the Duck effects are great. I like it. I think
Yeah.
it came out. It looks good.
I
It
can
looks
admit they are good.
There's also really good stop motion in it as well. Near the end, the Overlords. I love those guys.
Yeah, which are from the comics. The evil overlord is from the comics. That was one of the original Howard the Duck villains.
They look cool. They look cool.
Yeah, as a kid, I loved the design of that monster, and I always thought, like, why couldn't the monster be in most of the film? Why has he got to be the guy from Ferris Bueller for most of the film? What the hell? Why? Why don't we be a creepy monster in real life?
God damn Jeffrey Jones, you prick.
But yeah, so as mentioned, this movie stars Leah Thompson, who was Lorraine Baines in Back to the Future. She was also in an episode of Star Trek Picard, because we gotta have a Star Trek reference, guys. And she was Caroline Duffy in the TV series Caroline in the City, which premiered on NBC and was part of NBC's must-see TV lineup, which I don't know if you guys remember that.
I
didn't
love that
watch it,
show.
but I remembered it.
It was a great show. I used to watch it all the time. She was a struggling cartoonist who did like greeting cards and stuff, the comic strip.
Very cool.
She ended up falling in love with a snoozy artist she had hired, and it was good. It was a good show. If you're into comic books or what it's like to try and get through life as a comic book artist or something, it's an interesting kind of thing.
Yeah, and it had a lot of funny moments, and I think Leah Thompson's acting really leans into the comedy of it all, which, as we could see in Back to the Future and in this movie especially, she does work well with comedy.
Yeah, her acting is so good in this movie. It's just, it's weird. It's not too weird, but it's just weird enough. Like she acts really weird in this movie, but it works.
A little weird. She tried to fuck a duck.
Why does that bother you so much?
It's a duck. It's a duck.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I meant like everything else.
In fairness, Cara, Leah Thompson is a badass. She killed more Russians in Red Dawn than fucking Chuck Norris did in Invasion USA. So I'm 100% behind Leah Thompson. She's a badass.
Leah Thompson's in Red Dawn?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I never recognized her.
Yeah, that was one of her
What's
earlier
Red
roles.
Dawn?
Red Dawn is awesome.
Oh, you have to see Red Dawn, and you got to make sure you watch the original one, not that crappy remake they did.
They made a remake?
Yeah, they made a
with the
remake,
North Koreans.
Oh, Jesus.
which makes no sense at all. They can't even launch a proper missile. What the hell are they going to invade America? Come on, get off it. At least the Russians were a credible threat. Matt, I'd like to know, this isn't a watch along, dude. This is Sci-Fi Sunday. This is the discussion panel. That's the topic at hand. This is Howard the Duck.
Hey, Mac. Hey, DMC.
Hi, DMC. Hi, Mike.
Yeah, we're not watching the movie. Gladly.
The attempted sex scene did get interrupted. It was interrupted by Phil and Walter Jennings and their assistant, who I can't remember his name.
He's the true hero of the film. He stopped that scene from happening.
I would have been cool with it. I would have been cool with it, you know. Would have been something interesting. You don't see
Jen,
that.
you'd be fine with anything. You'd be fine with anything.
Ethel,
Yes.
isn't the dude from Jacob's Ladder in this movie?
Yes, Tim Robbins. He played Jacob in Jacob's Ladder, and he was also the president in Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me, and he was Woody Blair in Mission to Mars.
And Shawshank Redemption.
Yes,
Yeah,
Oscar winner Tim Robbins is Waka 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 Waka. The Academy Award goes to Tim Robbins.
You got to start somewhere.
Which I don't know. It was a funny character. That character is pure comedic relief. Everybody has comedic relief in this movie. I don't know. It's a comedy. It's a comedy. It's an adult-oriented children's comedy.
There is a really funny moment where he goes in to see Howard, and all the girls pile around him, and like he's like super nerdy guy. He says, "Ladies, not tonight. No threesomes tonight. I need to do my research." It's like, okay, where the fuck?
All right, so who else is in this movie? Because I didn't list off everybody else of note. We got Ed Gale, who portrayed most of the scenes in the Howard the Duck suit. You might recognize him out of the suit as Dink in Spaceballs. And he also played the station in Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. And he was in Land of the Lost, the 1991 version.
Very cool. Child's Play as well.
Yep, and Child's Play. And the voice of Howard the Duck through most of the film is, of course, Chip Zien, who was in Law and Order. He was Cromwell in Law and Order, and he was Donald Steele in All My Children, for you All My Children fans. And he was also Andrew Reinhardt in St. Elsewhere.
Didn't know that either. That's cool.
I love DMC's comment that it's fucking.
Yeah, I didn't understand that either. Like, why is it unwrapped? Is it like a memento from a former activity, or why is it an unwrapped condom in his pocket?
Well, you see, if it's like an egg, it dries, so I think it'd be all right. Because it gets, how eggs dry after they,
Yeah, that condom is gonna snap the instant you try to put it on. I don't know
if she's really hot and ready. The lubrication, it could. Oh my God, it would be like noodles.
Christ.
Although,
this was meant to be a holy day, and you've made it the most unholy fucking day of all.
All right. Well, here's the thing. Do they even need a condom if Beverly and Howard hook up? Because it's not like they're the same species, so it's not like she's gonna catch anything, and it's not like
Can you imagine the offspring? I would drown that fucking thing so quickly. Help me, quack, quack, quack. Fuck, Jesus.
But a duck human would be awesome.
Well, wouldn't it just be more Howards? Because Howard's already like a duck-human hybrid, so wouldn't it just be more Howards?
No, he's not a human hybrid. The ducks, like if you remember from the museum scene where Phil explains the evolution of the ducks, they start out as a duck and they get different. Their wings go away and they get thumbs and they become Cro-Magnon duck and then they become modern duck.
You need thumbs.
I only saw this movie once, so I didn't remember that scene.
Yeah, it's a great scene. They even had a cool artist's rendering of the evolutionary path that they laid over the human evolutionary path, and it was a cool little light transition. It looked great.
So yeah, the babies would be horrible monstrosities of a sin against nature. So yeah, Marty, drown them all.
All right, and speaking of drowning them all, we got Jeffrey Jones in this film, who was Dr. Walter Jennings. He was Ed Rooney in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. He was Criswell in Edgewood, and he was Shadowhawk in Invader Zim guy. He was Shadowhawk.
Very cool.
He was also AJ Merrick in Deadwood, and I liked him in that until I found out he was a dirty fucking smut child peddling piece of shit. And
he was also Charles in Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was.
Oh, and he was in another anthropomorphized duck production. He was the warden in Duckman, Eye Duckman.
Yeah, he was. And he was also in Devil's Advocate. He was in Devil's Advocate as well.
Yeah.
And Stuart Little.
Mm-hmm.
And we're little.
No, no, he wasn't Stuart Little. I forgot about that. No.
Yeah, he's only
damn.
briefly in there for one scene, but he's there.
It's
Now,
too
well,
bad he's human garbage, but he was a good actor.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
it's one of those things where it's like, they may be a terrible person, but they were good in the movie. I don't know, it feels like you feel kind of icky for liking their performance, but what are you going to do? You know?
That's why he always played the villain, though. It's good he usually played the villain, so you hated him anyways.
Good point. Good point.
Yeah. Kick him in the nuts. Square in the nuts. That's what I say.
Exactly.
Also in this movie, well, not directly in the movie, the voice of Howard the Duck was 16, you had Tim Rose, who voiced Howard the Duck in the production of the film. So, like, he was the voice the actors heard. Now, you guys will remember him. He was Admiral Akbar in Star Wars. In the Star Wars
It's a
movie.
trap! It's a trap!
I wouldn't, but the rest of you would.
Well, Jen, you'll remember him. He was TikTok in Return to Oz.
Okay.
He was the voice of TikTok. And he was the voice of Salacious Crumb in Return of the Ewok.
Wait,
Jen,
TikTok,
only
the app?
character, Ethel, the only character Jen knows about is the chicken duck woman, right, Jen?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's the only one I really know. Had a bitch of a time trying to find that figure.
No,
They laughed at me at Walmart.
Kara, TikTok was a character in Return to Oz. He was a robot that accompanied Dorothy on her journey through Oz when she got back there.
Oh yeah, his name was TikTok. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
Usually
the
when I hear
one-
TikTok, I think the app.
Yeah, no, fuck that. We're talking movies. This is TikTok. This movie also had Jordan Prentice, who you guys might, Trenchy, you probably will recognize this guy. Well, maybe not recognize him, but I know you've seen him. He was Rocky in Goosebumps Night of the Living Dummy 3.
Oh, wait, he was the gangster puppet, right?
Yeah, wait, the gangster. I thought that was in Batman.
No, there's a mobster puppet in I think Night of the Living Dummy 3. Slappy has an army of puppets, and one of them's a mobster puppet. And he actually helps the kids defeat Slappy at the end of the thing. Because I think there's the first Slappy appearance, then there's Bride of Slappy, and then there's that one with all the other ventriloquist dummies.
There's Night of the Living Dummy 2. That's what they had in the show. They skipped the first one for some reason. There was Night of the Living Dummy 2. Then they did Night of the Living Dummy 3, and then they did Bride of the Living Dummy.
And then, like, Night of the Living Dummy 2 is actually the story of Night of the Living Dummy 1, just with slight changes to it. It's really weird.
Yeah, because Slappy wasn't in the first Night of the Living Dummy book. Well, he was, but he wasn't alive
Yeah.
until the very end.
Well, Jordan was in that movie. He was the dummy, of course, because he's a little person, a dwarf, as you could say. He was also the giant bag of weed in Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle.
That's a role you dream of as an actor.
A
So,
giant bag of weed.
Yep.
Yeah. Have you seen Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle, Kara?
I saw it once when I was like 12, but I haven't seen it since. So I remember bits and pieces. Like I remember Neil Patrick Harris stealing their car.
Neil Patrick Harris not only stole that car, he stole the fucking show. What are you talking about?
Yeah, he stole that movie. He was brilliant.
He's like the secret star of all those movies.
And Wafflebot.
And Wafflebot in the fourth one, yes. Or the third one.
There's sequels?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's two. What was it? The second one is Guantanamo. Is Escape from Guantanamo Bay, and the third one is Christmas 3D.
I haven't
Yeah,
seen
Harold
it.
Kumar Christmas.
It's great. Wafflebot is awesome.
It had Danny Trejo in it as well, who also was fucking stealing the show.
Fuck pancakes.
Pancakes are gay. No, so that was kind of cool. A cool fact about the film: the Howard the Duck suit and head apparatus cost $2 million, and 8 different actors would portray Howard the Duck. And initially they wanted child actors, but that wasn't going to work out, so they went with dwarves.
Good choice.
Yeah.
Which, let's face it, dwarves need to work more. Come on, more dwarves,
Yeah.
I say.
Yeah, dwarves are superior to children.
As I mentioned, Tim Rose was the voice during production. He voiced the lines to a microphone. Chip Scene would be the actual voice we'd hear in the film. Another fun fact, Leah Thompson designed the look for Beverly herself, and she fashioned it after Cyndi Lauper and Madonna.
Oh, cool.
That's definitely that.
And it took her over 2 hours. It took over 2 hours in hair and makeup just to get her to get the look down with the hair. And she actually would regret not going for a wig and using her real hair because it took so long.
I wonder how many cans of hairspray they had to use to give her that volume.
They didn't use just
They
a
had to have
normal.
been going through awkward.
They made a special gun that just shot hairspray, and they had to load it. They had to like keep reloading it.
Hey, Kelly.
I'm still saying case of Aquanet. Oh, we got
Hey,
Kelly on the
Kelly.
thing. Hey. See, Kelly agrees Howard the Duck is a classic.
Kelly.
Put it on the screen.
No, Kelly. No, Kelly.
Yeah, it's a modern, an 80s classic.
The effects may be good, but the bad outweighs the good.
What's the bad though? Like, what's your side of the story? Why do you don't like it?
Number one, the main thing, the bestiality with the damn duck.
Yay,
I don't like that at all. That whole scene makes me completely uncomfortable.
It was a
Does that ruin the movie for you?
Yeah, it did. It really did.
Aw, I get it. I guess I can get that.
Plus, I didn't like how Howard didn't look like his comic counterpart, because I thought it'd be more funny if they actually did make him look like that.
So $2 million not well spent in your opinion, apparently.
I thought the suit was cool. Although if they could have done it kind of half and half. They could have done a Who Framed Roger Rabbit and had fucking Orcuda World. They could have had Howard animated, maybe.
That would have been an interesting choice.
If they ever make another movie, that's probably what we're going to get, only instead of it being classic animation, it'll be CGI, like they did in Guardians of the Galaxy. And
he turned up. You know, he's in. If you look at the back of Endgame, he turns up. He's got a blunderbuss. He comes out one of the portals with a blunderbuss. I think in that movie he was voiced by Seth Green. In Guardians, yeah, I think he was voiced by Seth Green.
Yeah, which actually is pretty decent casting. I could see Seth Green as a voice for Howard the Duck.
Yeah, I agree.
Um, so speaking of voices for Howard the Duck, Jay Leno was considered, or no, excuse me, not Jay Leno. Robin Williams was originally the voice for Howard the Duck, but he actually quit. He quit after only a week of voice acting for this role because he had so much trouble syncing it up with the animatronic Duck Bill.
He got out what he could.
But, he's made worse movies. He made worse movies, let's be honest.
He wanted that Popeye bunny. That's what he wanted.
That's fucking Popeye. Marty, we were thinking the same thing, buddy. Popeye.
Fucking hell. I love and hate that movie in equal measure. I don't know why. I don't know how.
I still haven't seen that Popeye movie, so I can't say.
It was a thing.
Yeah.
So he quit, right? So we think there'd be a big problem with that, but no. The producers they called up Gene right away and flew him out to California, and he replaced Williams like that, just right in, right out. They also had John Cusack and Martin Short voice to Howard the Duck, and they picked Gene over him. So for them.
My God, can you imagine John Cusack? John Cusack would have been brilliant as Howard the Duck.
Martin Short would be interesting too.
Now for the character of Beverly, they had a lot of people trying to audition for that role. They had Phoebe Cates, they had Tori Amos, they had Paula Abdul was considered, Kim Basinger, Jodie Benson, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Laurie Singer. All considered for the part.
Well, Paula Abdul, she had a thing for cats, so it's not that far of a jump. She had a thing for cats.
That and Tori Amos breastfed a pig on one of the covers of her album, so like, fuck that. She's comfortable.
They also had.
They probably weren't told about the duck scene. They probably weren't told about that scene when they were all clamoring for the part. It's got very hush hush.
They also considered Belinda Carlisle. She also auditioned, so that would have been interesting.
Heaven is a duck on Earth?
Heaven is a duck on Earth. Be going slackers over that duck. Oh, we got Nate in the chat, guys. We got Nate in the chat. I see you there, Nate.
Hey, Nate. We're talking about Howard the Duck. It's chaos because Howard the Duck.
So,
Howard the Duck drives me quackers.
So let's say, for the part of Phil, they had Jay Leno. They considered Jay Leno over Tim Robbins, but they ended up going with Tim Robbins. So we almost had Jay Leno in the movie. That would have been crazy.
Oh no!
What would have been more distracting, duck tits and condoms, or his chin?
His chin. That fucking chin, you'd lose an eye.
That chin needs a condom.
Could you imagine we'd have to be subjected to his open monologue?
I'm glad Tim Robbins got it.
Me too.
I couldn't see anyone else in the role, honestly. Tim Robbins is great as Bill, whatchamacallit, Bull something or other.
Nobody could deliver that line. He's a duck terrorist. He hijacked the plane like Tim Robbins. No one else could deliver that line.
He's a duck terrorist. He hijacked this plane.
I just love if Rage Morgan Freeman arrived on the beach and Andy Dufresne is just fucking kind of fixing up his boat with Howard the Duck, and fucking Red's like, I'm fucking out. Fuck this shit. That duck's the whitest motherfucker I ever seen.
But
No, Campbell, I don't.
No.
Hey, Brian.
oh, this would have been great to have on VHS. I have it on VHS, but it's actually taped off of HBO, so it's not an official copy. But this movie was Willard Pikes. I still can't pronounce his name. This was his second failure in a row, and this would actually be his very last film. He would retire from directing after this. As you can imagine, this didn't do very well in the box office. It's kind of a well-known fact.
It scared some little kids. I've read articles where it said some little kids were scared.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure the parents would have all left after the duck sex scene. I'm pretty sure all the parents were walking out by then.
Well, like, I don't know. Maybe I don't know if it would be Howard the Duck that had scared the kids. I would think it'd be the evil overlord character, because he was kind of scary.
Yeah, that's true. But I heard that the duck scared some kids because, like, parents took it thinking it's going to be, a duck movie for kids, and not exactly.
Doesn't Howard get
This
a
movie
job
wasn't for
in
kids at
fucking-
all.
Doesn't Howard get a job in a strip club and he's like fucking clean off cum stains off a window?
Yay!
It's a-
cum stains and yay strippers! Woohoo!
It's a bathhouse. He's
What's next, Cinderella?
He's the water expert. He's got to unplug that jet on number 5, and he's got to clean the bra out of the mud bath, which he then pushes his boss into, if you remember correctly.
It's really bad because he almost drowned in a pool while this couple is having sex in the pool, and he's over there drowning, and it's horrible because they don't help him. They just keep having sex while he's just casually drowning.
Well, in fairness, if it's really good sex, you need to stop. I mean, in fairness.
It's great though because he utters the line, "Don't mind me." This is great. It's great. So Leah Thompson, she performed all the music that the band Cherry Bomb performs in this. She does all the singing herself. That's actually Leah Thompson's voice. And during the production, the studio still hadn't decided whether or not they were going to use her voice or they were going to hire an actual musician to do it. So she didn't know until they screened the film that her voice was actually going to be in it. Oh, very cool.
He's really good.
Yeah.
And also, she still has the Les Paul guitar that her character used in the film, which that'll be interesting to Brian there in the chat, because I remember you mentioned the other night, last night, you couldn't remember what kind of guitar that was. It was a Les Paul. So, yeah, she still has it. Isn't that cool?
DMC, you're pro drowning?
No! Me too, DMC.
Why would you want to be drowning? Why would you want to drown? That's a horrible way to go.
Well, not necessarily yourself drown, but if other people are drowning and you're having sex, I can see, like DMC and I can see why.
Jen, you wouldn't even help them.
Ethel, do you know if Leah Thompson is kind of like, is she embarrassed of this movie like certain actors, or is she kind of like, hey, I done it, it was fun, it's part of my filmography, I'll take it or leave it?
I think initially, after it had such a bad reception, and religious groups were sort of mad at her again for a second time, I think she was questioning her choice in manager, much as her agent, much as her character was questioning her choice in band manager. But taking that she still has the guitar and she's talked about it on Twitter a few times, I think she's come to peace with it and actually enjoyed her role. Right?
That's cool when actors can do that. I like it. Like maybe initially they're not too proud of it, and then give it some time and perspective, and they look at it differently. I think that's kind of cool.
She was hilarious.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, I think she was perfect for this role, and I wouldn't have thought, based on her performance in Back to the Future, that she would be one for this role. But no, it was great, and I buy her as the performer, as the front woman of a rock band. I actually bought that. I'm like, yeah, I could see
Yeah.
that. I
The
could
film
see her.
Dirty Duck, John. Marty,
Yes.
can we do it for Trash Fire?
Fuck you, John Steele. Fuck you and your movie suggestions.
You
But,
love it, Carly.
So it's no secret that this film had underperformed. It did terrible. It was some box office poison. Because it did so bad, it's rumored that at the test screening, this is before it was even released, Sid Sheinberg and Frank Price, who are both Universal Studios executives. Frank Price, of course, the head of Universal Studios at the time. They were arguing about who was to blame for greenlighting this film. They were trying to just like put the blame off one or another, and yeah, that wasn't good. That's never good when executives are trying to say, no, this film was your idea. This is your fault. This is not. I did not cost the company millions of dollars. This is on your head, Frank.
It's both of their faults. It's both of their faults. I don't know whose fault it is, but somebody's fault that there was a duck sex scene in this movie.
Now,
Almost
this-
duck sex scene. But the fact that it almost happened is just bad
Now-
enough.
Now, I don't know, Brian. I don't know if Leia Thompson actually played the guitar, but she did all the singing. She kept the guitar, so that makes me think that if she didn't play it, she maybe took lessons and plays the guitar now, or maybe it's just a wall hanger in her fabulous, I assume, mansion or gated community house. But I don't know. If she actually, it's a good question. You don't see her playing it really much in the film. Like most of the shots of her are singing, or where she's got the guitar, but she's not really playing it. She's sort of standing there with it. You see Howard the Duck play the guitar more.
She rubs her nose against the guitar.
Yes, she does.
Yeah. Which wouldn't play the guitar, it would just hurt your nose really bad.
Oh, Marty, it's because Howard was playing the duck with his playing the guitar with his bill, so she decided to try it with her nose.
She just shear off the end of her fucking nose. A duck bit.
Look,
Woo-hoo. I want to
Hey,
use
no
my
pain,
vagina.
no gain, right?
I want to use my vagina.
No, Jen, no.
No, that would be so painful. Your bits and pieces would get caught in the strings and it would hurt. No, don't do that.
Marty, retreat into the hat, quickly. It is the only safe place left.
So moving on from that imagery, Luke's like, all right, this film, they tried really hard, as Marty has said earlier in the program. They were trying with this film. They really put a lot of work into it, and one of the reasons was George Lucas was betting heavily on the success of this film, because at the time of its release and while it was filming, he was planning and constructing and built the famed Skywalker Ranch complex, which cost him heavily. Like, he got into debt building this thing. It was $50 million of debt building the complex. And when the film didn't do well, it was a problem for George Lucas. He was so bad, he actually ended up selling off a lot of his assets to pay the debts. And his good friend Steve Jobs, Apple's CEO and turtleneck spokesperson, he offered to buy the CGI division of Lucasfilms at above market price to help his buddy out. And that division was sold. George Lucas agreed to do it, and the division would later become Pixar Animated Studios.
Very cool.
So, had this movie not failed, we would have no Pixar Studios today, which means all you Toy Story fans wouldn't have your damn Buzz Lightyear and your fucking Woody. So,
no, Ethel, no, I can't think of a world without Woodies.
I knew it. I fucking knew that. I smelt it on the wind. I was like,
I may or may not have set you up for that joke, Jen.
You did. You know what you're doing.
I still can't believe this movie led to Pixar. What the?
Wait,
There's one in the world.
Don't you like Pixar?
I like Woodies.
I like some of their movies, not all of them though. I don't like all their movies. I like some of them.
Right. So George Lucas, he settled his hash. He got his affairs in order. You know, he sold his division, his animated CGI division to Steve Jobs. So that went okay for him. Debt solved. But poor Frank Price, he must have lost that argument because shortly after he would resign as head of the Universal Studios. He was down. Lost his job, guys. And it's sad, but somebody had to pay. Somebody had to take the blame, I guess.
Yeah, someone had to pay for this movie.
Oh, we got a guest in the back. We got a guest in the back. Let me let him in. Hold on. Could it be? Who do we got? Come on. Oh, is it Sasha? Let me let him in.
Hello.
Hi.
hello, Sasha.
Hi.
It's Sasha.
I hope I'm not too late.
No, you're
missed
just
Woodies.
in time.
Oh, good.
You're just in time. Sasha, you're here because you have a close personal history with this film. Do you not?
Yeah, that might be pushing it, but yeah.
Well, tell us about it.
I actually saw it as a child in the cinema in 1986. And I didn't know what I was getting into. I didn't know any better. I just enjoyed it. I wasn't picking it apart and being critical about it. I just thought it was very enjoyable.
And was your childlike mind blown away at the prospect of seeing duckheads?
I knew you'd say that. No, I just took the whole film as a whole, and I enjoyed it. I liked the sci-fi. I wasn't questioning, but he's a duck. I took it for what it was, and it was entertainment.
So you didn't question a single thing.
No, hold on, Garrett. So you've heard it here, guys. Sasha wants a special Criterion edition of Howard the Duck.
I wouldn't say no.
Yeah, it will be the best-selling Criterion of all time. Fuck Citizen Kane. Howard the Duck is the way.
The film was delayed in starting, so we did start. The whole audience gave it a standing ovation.
There's a special audio commentary with Matt Mould.
This movie is awesome, though.
Now, Sasha, can you remember, like you said, they had a standing ovation when it started, but during the film, were there any moments you remember specifically where the audience was like either really into it or really kind of like, oh my?
I don't remember. There was nobody was. This was a while ago, so bear with me. But I don't recall any moments where me or anyone else was sort of overly critical of the film. He just went on the ride, the famous.
Did he get a standing ovation afterwards?
Is it famous or infamous?
Both.
Hey, Christian.
The sex scene was not a problem. Well,
Was it not a problem?
I enjoyed the airplane sequence. The whole film was just. You know what? I actually believe that the special effects in Howard the Duck are superior to Men in Black, which was 10 years later. The CGI in Men in Black.
I agree.
The CGI at the end of Men in Black, it just looks like CGI. This predates that, and it's much superior. I just recently watched it again. It holds up really, really well. It really does.
Yeah, and I agree with.
Oh, sorry, that's one.
I was just going to agree with you, Sasha. I recently rewatched this this morning before tonight's broadcast, and Trench had rewatched it the other night, and it holds up for me. Trench.
Oh, I really like the special effects. The special effects holds up. The comedy holds up. Like, there's really good comedic timing, especially in the diner where they're about to chop Howard's head off, and Leah Thompson's like telling the waitress, "Oh, you gotta stop them." And the evil overlord's like, "You're about to see evil like you've never seen before." And then the waitress just nonchalantly goes, "Oh, we have fights in here all the time. It's cool." Like, just the comedic timing is great. I don't know. I think the problem with this film might be just the duck tits and the duck sex scene. And maybe that it's PG and should be an R-rated movie. I guess that's the only flaws I've heard of the movie. Because I don't think, like, technically you can't, like, take it apart. I guess it's just, like, subjective. Because technically I think there's nothing technically wrong with it.
I agree.
I'm going to say this. This movie is...
Oh, go ahead, Kara. Oh,
I was going to say, this movie is too sexual.
Well, the material, though.
Think about it.
See, I think it's not sexual enough.
Of course, Jen. Of course.
You would, babe. Of course you would.
No, I'm serious. Like, why didn't they go all? Like, why didn't we get a bigger, sex scene? Why didn't we see the duck tits? Why didn't we see the dried cum on the condom like an dried egg? Why didn't we?
Yeah. Well, like, here's the thing. I don't know, because he's an alien. He's not a literal duck. Like, this isn't a woman having sex with a duck she found in the park or something, or got from a petting zoo. This is an alien who happens to be an anamorphosized duck from a dimension and a place in space where ducks evolved into people. So technically, this is alien sex. So really, is it really that much of a problem for her?
She gets an added bonus of like getting like feathers drug across her clit.
And this alien knew what he was doing. He was drinking beer. He was smoking cigars. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, John, Swamp Thing was PG?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so was Beastmaster.
This movie really ruffles the
one scene.
It was a different time, Trenchy. It was a more whimsical time.
I never knew Swamp Thing was PG. That's pretty interesting.
Jen, I love you, but you're way too liberal with that fucking term.
Hi, Scott.
Main thing is rated R.
Well, it was a time where we weren't as prudish about body parts and sex, and we were more into revealing these kinds of things and gore. And now it's more like gore is more acceptable than nudity or sex in a film, which is weird. I mean, unless it's an R-rated film. But hey, you know, it is what it is. I think they went too young with this film. I think it should be more like an R-rated movie. I think that would have helped it out a lot. Really go for the adult audience.
I agree.
Yeah. Although there was some kids out there that kind of enjoyed it, especially the sex scenes.
I liked it. I liked it. This was one of the movies I watched a lot as a kid. I watched this a lot as a kid. I watched Temple of Doom a lot as a kid. And I watched Critters a lot as a kid. These were like my three go-tos.
What, Apple? Is Temple of Doom your favorite Indiana Jones film?
It is.
Yay! Mine too.
Yeah, mine too.
I love it. And my favorite character in that movie is Short Round. That kid is hilarious. No time for love, Dr. Jones.
Dr. Jones.
I love that.
Yeah, he's acting again.
Oh, is he cool?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's very happy
Hey,
about it.
Trenchy, is that the same kid who plays Data in Goonies?
Yes. Yeah, he played Data in Goonies and Short Round, and then I don't know if he did anything else, but he stopped acting. But now he's back in like a multiverse movie, I think.
Oh, very cool.
Okay.
Which, it goes without saying that this is a Marvel movie. This is one of the first batches of Marvel movies. It's right up there with Captain America. Not the one you guys have seen with Chris Evans, but the other Captain America movie from the 70s. And the Punisher movie that we got with Dolph Lundgren.
And don't forget as well, Ethel, you got the half as Nick Fury.
Yes, and Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. How could I possibly forget? How could I forget the made-for-TV movie? Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Mr. Baywatch, Mr. Knight Rider himself, David Hasselhoff, who played a great Nick Fury, and don't think you can't convince me otherwise. Great.
Actually, your stream convinced me to do an Avengers 1990 poster. It's up on Twitter, Ethel. I tagged you. So if you get a chance, check it out. I think you might enjoy it.
Ah, sweet! I gotta check it out and share it out, because you know that's what I do when I see these things. But what a
At
different
least
time
Howard the
to do-
Duck is not as bad as Garbage Pail Kids. I could say that about Howard the Duck.
Well, we'll get to Garbage Pail Kids at some point. I'm sure we could probably do a stream on that in the future.
Yay!
Everybody wants to see a
That
stream
movie-
on. Everyone who wants to see a stream on Garbage Pail Kids, just say Trash Can Spaceship in the chat.
Everybody say that.
I had to grow up with that movie. I didn't have a choice. My brother watched that movie all the time. That movie was.
Back to Howard the Duck for a minute there. I like it. I think it's definitely a recommend. You just have to go into it thinking of it as an adult movie, not a kids movie, and don't be so put off by the brief kissing scene, because that's all it was. Is it Leah Thompson in her underwear kissing Howard the Duck in bed instantly?
Slipping him the tongue.
The tongue. Everybody loves it. Come on, even ducks love the tongue.
I know.
Wouldn't it be funny if it's like they're celebrating their first night and they do something romantic, and you just see Leah Thompson with a bottle of champagne and she turns it upside down, and the top goes off screen, and you just hear her, "Thanks, Howard." She's taking the top of the cork off the bottle.
Oh, Ben, Howard the Duck better team up with Jay and Silent Bob. That would be epic.
Jason Mewes would have fun with that.
There's a couple. Marty, your thing with the wine bottle reminds me of a non-sexual moment with alcohol in this film. I love that part where she offers him milk in a bowl, and he's like, "I don't drink out of a bowl." He's like, "I'll have a beer." He's like, he mutters, "I'll put you in a bowl." Then she hands him the beer, and he's like, "Big brewski." Because he's a duck, he's used to smaller beers. So I love that scene, and I don't know, maybe that's just a silly part of the movie.
I like it as well, because it's like, yeah, he's still a piss sound regardless of what size he is.
Yeah, he has a massive
It's not how the size, it's how you use it, I always say.
But have you guys any scenes that you particularly are fond of in this film? We'll go one at a time. I'll start with Trench, and then we'll go down the line.
Oh, well, like I said, the diner scene, I won't repeat it, but that was really funny. And I also like it when they're fighting the policeman and Leah Thompson goes, "Book 'em, Ducko." Like, that's with a straight face. That's like funny as fuck. Like, that scene and the diner fight are like my two favorite scenes.
Very cool.
Very cool. Yeah.
Like you people even have to ask. You know, I was like condoms, and I had already knew about condoms, but I felt like a very sophisticated kid. I was like, "That's a condom," and then I was like, "Mom," because my mom was a nurse. I was like, "Get a duck, get you pregnant," and my mom was like, "Why would you ask me?"
Jesus Christ.
Like, you told your mom to get a duck pregnant.
No, I asked, and no duck gets you pregnant because my mom was a nurse. And I go, "Mom, get a duck itch." Then why would they need the condom? And then I proceeded to explain.
Keep in mind, guys, I love this woman, but she has 2 children. 2 children!
It's not.
So yeah, so that was a thing, but it did, and my mother's like, "Why do you want to know if a duck can get you pregnant, Jen?" And I was like,
That's a valid question, Jen.
Thank you.
You have a very inquisitive mind from an early age. There's nothing wrong with that.
Thank you.
Oh, we got another guest. It's Kara. She's back. Get back in here.
That's bullshit, Ben. Can't believe they did that. It would have been better than MODOK.
Seems like my stream is having a lot of problems today.
But
My internet
right, so
can't handle Howard the Duck.
all right, so next in line, Kara. I know you don't like this film. I know you hate it. I know but is there any scene at all that you recall that you didn't hate? A scene that you might even, dare I say, enjoy?
When he took the forklift thing and he rammed it into the Overlord thing and he fell in the portal and was like, "Rah!"
Yeah, the final scene.
The golf cart.
Yeah, golf cart. That's what it was. It wasn't forklift. It was golf cart.
Which that laser rig on the golf cart was very cool. I always loved that. You guys, you like the laser rig on the golf cart?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was cool.
Definitely cool. Sasha, what's a scene that you like a lot? Is there a favorite scene you have from this, or something that's really memorable for you?
Well, you mean a scene by itself, or within the? I don't just go to one scene. I watch the whole film.
I know, but like, was there anything specific in the film that you really enjoyed out of everything?
It's the third act. It's the whole third act when Leah gets captured and he's on the rescue. That whole everything that happens in the last act, I suppose, is my favorite. Howard in hero mode.
It's great, and that is a good part of the film. That third act is very strong, And I like it because it plays off of the romantic relationship they've developed. Of course, he's going to go hero mode and save her. He's in love, guys. He's
Which
in love.
reminds me that I think the film went under a different name. It was called Howard, a New Breed of Hero in the UK.
Yes, when they released it overseas, they changed the title due to the bad reception. They thought maybe that would make it more enjoyable.
Yeah, they removed the word duck, so yeah.
Were they trying to trick people?
I don't know. It might be
I
like
don't know.
possibly. I'm not sure. No, he's on the poster. You see the beak on the poster and the feet. But then you see the poster right there. You have it. That was the poster. There's no getting around that. That's a duck.
Oh, let me let Kara back in. Would you stop jumping in and out? Jesus, sit down.
In and
Sit
out
down,
like a
child.
fiddler's elbow.
It keeps kicking me. I don't know why.
Nobody's kicking-
I guess my systems just can't handle it. They can't handle Howard the Duck.
Marty, was there a specific scene that you enjoyed a lot in this movie, or something you can highlight that was really impressive for you or enjoyable?
Being a big kind of stop motion and creature kind of advocate and lover, I love the end with the overlords trying to come through the portal. There's another bit as well where like fucking Tim Robbins comes in and he's like, Howard, waka waka, and Howard's like, he gives him a look as if to say, this fucking idiot. I love that as well. Like
Yeah.
Howard's like, I'm fucking sick of this fucking place.
That was my one and only complaint with the film was Tim Robbins was a bit too broad.
Oh, come on now. Come on,
A little
Sasha.
too.
This is way better. You could tell that he was going places. You could see the inception of Shawshank Redemption as Andy Dufresne in this movie. Don't lie. Don't lie.
It was Jacob and Jacob's Ladder. You could see that too. Very serious. Wouldn't that have been a different film if he's tripping out and seeing the people with the spinning faces, and then he turns to the camera, waka waka waka?
That would have been a deep cut.
Yeah, that would have been different.
But as for me on this, it's hard for me to pick a scene I specifically enjoyed. The diner scene is very, very strong. As Sasha said, that third act, especially the part with the laser golf part and the stop motion, very strong, very good stop motion, as Marcus pointed out. I think it still holds up well. Overall, I enjoyed this film immensely. It's good.
Yeah.
DMC Jen's crazy,
Guys, any thought-
but she hasn't put a pit. Lads, my girlfriend is mad, but she has not put a bra on her head. That's actual cardboard.
I thought that I thought for a moment I thought it was the same. I thought you were referencing Weird Science or something.
Yeah, no, I would have done it.
How would you like me to tell all these people that you wear a bra on your head?
I love that movie.
That's another stream topic we could get off onto some night, because there was a TV series as well.
Yes, there was on USA.
Yep, good old USA.
Got my education there.
So that'll be a topic for the future at some point. I don't know when. Don't think it's coming up soon, but it'll come up at some point. Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
thanks, Scott. Oh, thanks, Scott.
How would you like me to tell all these people that you can't take a shower with a beautiful woman without wearing your jeans?
I have to wait till Sparky gets back, because then I can be Anthony Michael Hall and he can be the other one.
Oh, Oh, that'd be terrific. We got it. We got to do it, guys. Future plans: Garbage Pail Kids and Weird Science. Not in the same stream, but maybe in the same month. We'll figure it out.
Awesome.
Yay!
So that being said, what do you guys think is up for the future of Howard the Duck? What do you think the next move is? Is there a next move, or is this never going to happen again?
It might.
I could see him turning up because like they done a Guardian. He turned up in Guardians, and Guardians in itself was a very obscure property. Like Guardians was not a big kind of comic. So like I could see them pulling out Howard the Duck. Like Jen, I could see them doing a Howard the Duck movie easily because Disney are greedy and they want to make money, and I could see him maybe ending up in a team even on the Guardians, or if they redo the proper Defenders, you could see him teaming up with Doctor Strange and the Hulk and Multicolor Man and fucking So yeah, I could see a Howard the Duck movie or at least a cameo on a team voiced by Seth Green.
Very cool.
Maybe he'll show up in Multiverse of Madness.
I think if they made a movie, I think the route to go if they made a movie is go like Deadpool, go full R-rated movie, aim for that adult audience. The kids have all these other movies. The kids have 20 Marvel movies a year. Why can't the adults have one too?
Yeah,
I agree, and I think they should let Kevin, because Ben said Kevin Smith was going to do a TV series, and I think if you're going to pick one guy to do Howard the Duck, it's got to be Kevin Smith, and that way we could get a Jay and Silent Bob cameo. Like this is a good idea. Because Kevin Smith will understand the
Should they use the
character.
parasite again?
Somebody else would have to play Howard the Duck, obviously. It would have to be a different actor.
They'll find another dwarf.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing is, do you guys want to see another a dwarf in a costume, or do you want to see them do CGI like they did with these new Marvel movies?
Oh no,
they're going to go with CGI.
What's
I
Warwick
know.
Davis doing now?
We need a dwarf though, because dwarfs need more jobs, and Peter Dinklage already screwed them out of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. So they need we need a dwarf, but not Peter Dinklage because he's an asshole.
Yeah, go with a man in a suit. I think every time.
CGI.
How about
That's what
how about the dwarf that played Mickey on Seinfeld, or the dwarf? He's also the same dwarf from Bordello of Blood.
Or
Yay!
the little girl.
Or
That
you
would
could
work.
go-
Remember
you
the
could go
girl with the
super
knife in
PC
Total Recall?
because
She could do it.
you could go super PC because people are tired of having people of not a particular gender playing that gender. You need to have a duck playing Howard the Duck. So what you do is you do the old Mr. Egg trick, fill the duck's mouth with peanut butter, and just fucking dub it. That's
That
what you
could
gotta
make the
do.
sex scenes interesting with peanut butter.
Because, yeah. I love you, but why? Why?
Wait, but then it would be
Jen.
actually bestiality.
I understand what you mean, Marty. Yeah. When Justin Hoffman was in Rain Man. Yeah. And he's not. He's got
Yeah.
all his.
So we need to get a duck playing a goddamn duck. It's only fair.
They might have to do more tape if it's a duck, because I don't know how they will take action.
We'll get Scarlett Johansson back. She'll play it. She loves playing other things that's not her. I'm gonna
Now,
be trans. I'm gonna be an Asian. I'm gonna be whatever the fuck I want. I'm Scarlett Johansson.
Wait, is the duck from the Affleck commercials a real duck?
It was Gilbert Godfrey.
Oh, I know the duck couldn't talk, but is that a real duck or a CGI duck?
I honestly don't know.
Because we could get that duck. He already knows how to act.
Affleck.
All right.
Affleck.
If they were to do a movie, I'm not saying she should reprise her role as Beverly, but I would like to see Leah Thompson have like at least a cameo, if not a very small part in the film, just to call back to the fans of this movie. I think that would be great.
Back to the duck.
Very cool.
But I don't know. That's just an idea. Will they ever make another movie? I don't know. If they do, will they go the rated R route? I don't know. Should they? Should.
If Kevin Smith has anything to do with it, it would be R-rated.
Yes.
Yeah, just think what we would see then, guys. How great would that be?
I think Jen would love it if they went down the route this movie did, but with an R rating.
Especially if they use peanut butter, like Marty said.
I said the peanut butter was to make the duck talk. I didn't see it some kind of.
Oh, I thought you meant. I misunderstood.
Marty with the peanut butter.
I thought you meant the peanut butter would make the duck swell up, which might be kind of cool.
Dear God.
I don't know how the effects peanut butter have on ducks. I would not know.
Swell up,
Yeah,
like just go way up.
I feel
can
like
see
if you're
Stern-
doing a Howard the Duck movie, you need Kevin Smith or James Gunn.
I took
Like
that as
there's no other way, but mainly Kevin Smith.
I misunderstood that comment as you want to see ducks extended.
Jen wants to see human and duck, apparently. She wants to see the hybrid.
I want to see peanut butter make them swell up, make the duck swell up.
Oh my goodness.
God.
All right, so the less said about this, the better. Moving on. In summary, besides peanut butter and duck swelling, have you guys any final thoughts on the film, the characters, the franchise? Anything you guys want to add before we start winding things down?
Jen, you're not meeting my fucking parents. That's it. You're not meeting my fucking parents. That's what I want to ask. I love you.
I have a theory that Howard the Duck is Jesus.
Hey, he can walk on water.
Well, because in the beginning of
Have a
the movie,
multiverse
it
movie where
said
the
there was
MCU
the universe.
Howard meets this Howard, and they have a death battle.
All right, let's let Trenchy finish first. What were you saying, Trench, about your Jesus theory?
Because Howard the Duck, it said in the beginning of the universe there was Howard the Duck. Jesus came to our world and died for our sins with a greater purpose, right? Howard the Duck came to our earth with a greater purpose to save the world from the monsters, and he sacrificed his way of going home and almost died saving our world for saving us from the monsters. Hence Jesus.
That's
It's
very
close
deep.
enough.
Yes, Jen,
Right.
all due respect, Jen, you're going to be Paul Verhoeven
Also,
on the whole fucking Howard the Duck thing, man.
also, they've never been seen together in the same place at the same time. So it's obvious to me.
I don't know about Duck World, Ben, but Duckman, I think, had a duck Jesus, didn't it? Or maybe not. I don't remember.
It did. Duckman did have a duck Jesus.
Okay, so see, there you go.
So perhaps Duck World does as well.
They call him Jesus Christ or something like that.
Quackers be to you. Quackers be to you.
I would rather worship Howard the Duck than Jesus, anyways.
Happy
Jen, do you
Easter.
think in the Howard the Duck? Oh, sorry.
You would rather what?
Jen, do you think there's a duck version of you in the Howard Duckverse or whatever?
Probably. And I hope not. Or Marty's going, God, I hope not. Probably not just Marty, in fairness, probably all of you.
I mean, Howard the Duck as a character, he was likable. I didn't dislike him.
And fuckable.
Yeah.
Jen, our resident sexual deviant.
Marty!
So winding things down now, guys. I'm gonna do as I normally do after I let Kara back in because she's dropped herself from the screen again. Get in here, would you? Would you stop that? There we go. I'm gonna give everybody a chance to plug their thing that they're doing, and I'm gonna start and as I normally do. For the person closest to me on the right, Trench. What's coming up next? What's the next thing? Anything recent to tell us all about?
Well, I'll be on your stream next Sunday for Mafra, I think. But besides that, nothing much on the channel. I did do your Go Ape in April thing. I did a review of the Mighty Joe Young from the 90s, but that's about it.
Very cool.
Oh, excellent. And for those of you that don't know, it is April, and hashtag Go Ape in April if you want to use it. Tag some people. You talk about your favorite ape movie, any ape movie at all, any monkey movies, anything to do with simians in any kind of fashion in a film. Please talk about it and tag other people. This is a trend I do every year. My Go Ape in April video will come out very soon. I don't know when, but it'll come soon. I just have to film it and edit it, get it done. It's pressure, but it'll happen. Jen, what's coming up next? What's the next thing from the grave?
Actually, we've just put up today we did kind of a trip. We talked about USA Up All Night and Gilbert Gottfried. The video just went up today, and it's not terrible. Christian did some very cool editing stuff. There's going to be a Tales from the Crypt episode up very soon. And you just gave me an idea for something for Trash Fire Cinema. I have to talk to my co-host, but I have an idea for a Trash Fire Cinema episode. So you gave me a brilliant idea.
Why do I get the feeling we're watching simian porn?
How did you know?
Cause it's you! Cause it's you!
There'll be
It'll be awesome.
I don't know. It's Trash Fire. Maybe you guys will talk about Monkey Bone.
Actually, no, but you're not too far off. But I have another movie. I think Marty knows where I'm going with this.
But Monkey Bone's a good movie.
Monkey Bone is, but I have a better one, guys. I have a better one. Trust me on this. It's gonna be awesome.
All right. And next in line, Kara. What's coming up next on your channel? What's the next project you're working on? What are we looking for?
Well, I'm gonna do Spider-Man 3 watch along. I'm gonna do a watch along on Italian Star Wars because I want to get people who haven't seen that movie and show them that film. And I'm finishing up my work on Spider-Man Episode 1, and then doing a few more stop motions after that. And that's basically what I got so far.
Very cool.
Ah, excellent. Looking forward to it. We'll all be taking a look at that. I'm sure everyone in the audience might take a look at that. Go check it out. Sasha, what's going on, you sexy monkey? What's the next thing coming down the line?
It's only going to be more what you've already seen, really, unless I come up with some new idea. Because I got told the other day that somebody loves my content, and this was just after I was thinking, I don't need to do it anymore. I'll just stop. And then they gave me a boost of enthusiasm, so I think I'll keep going with that. But it will just be showing of artwork I create, and of course live streams. Because they've been fun recently. I've been doing live streams, and they've been genuinely. We're having some interesting debates. I'll just say that. Last one we went heavy into religion.
Ooh.
So,
That could be pretty cool. Everybody should check it out. Check out Sasha's channel. Marty, pal, what's going on? What treats have you from the Emerald Isle to present us with on your channel?
Well, depending on what I'm working, I may do a stream because I am two subs away from the 500 sub count, so I might do a stream maybe during the week. And then next Tuesday, I have two things up. One, I gotta see, I'm doing a collaboration with a person, but I gotta see if that's going ahead. But next Tuesday is the 26th of April. That is LV426 Day, i.e. Alien Day. And I have two ideas for videos. I don't know if I'll do them both, but I will either be doing the entire Alien timeline from Prometheus to Alien Resurrection, and I'll be including the video games, how the video games fit into the timeline. And if I also do another video, or if I do an alternate video, it's going to be my favorite xenomorphs from obviously the movies, but also the video games and comics. So keep an eye out for that. And I'm probably going to be doing a review on some new Jurassic World Dominion figures. So keep an eye out for that. And I'll be doing a collab with this fucking lunatic, this lovely lunatic above me there. Usual kind of stuff.
Penis!
Excellent. So check that out. And guys, we are so close to Marty hitting the 500 number. If you're not subscribed,
I'll fucking cut all of you!
what
I
are you
will
waiting
kill your
for?
families! If you
The
don't
potentially
subscribe-
Strokemon review in the balance there. So check it out.
Yes. If I get to 500 before the end of the month, I made a deal. I'll stand by it. We'll review the Pokemon porno, but it has to stay. It has to stay at 500 after April, after the last day of April. But
I've
And
been
I'll-
let's do it, everyone.
Pokemon. I'll dress up.
Don't just subscribe to get the content and then unsubscribe after you've gotten. Don't cheat. There's more to see after that. You gotta stay tuned to Marty's channel, the Trash Picture Show. You got it.
I did a genuine review of Not the Wizard of Oz on my channel, so you can do it too.
wait, you did a review of Wizard of Oz porno?
Yes, I did.
Oh, he did. It's great. You gotta see. I'll send it to you, Marty.
Jesus Christ.
Ben says it's at 500. So
Guys, we gotta keep it at 500. See, it's a win-win situation. Jen won't kill your family, and you get to watch Marty watch Pokemon porn.
And I know you guys think I'm kidding, but when it comes to my children or Marty, I will murder bitches. I will fucking murder bitches.
As you can all see, Jen is insane. Subscribe. Do it. She will kill you all.
Marty, I know you have my address. Please don't.
We do
please
not
don't say
condone
that.
murder. or any kind of actual real life violence here at 13 Originals LLC. But the views expressed by Jen are that of her own channel. It did not necessarily reflect the views expressed by 13 Originals LLC or affiliated holdings.
All of you are fucking.
Yeah, so
Chainsaw.
But Marty, you don't want pity subscriptions. You want genuine subscriptions.
They wouldn't be petty because subscriptions. He makes awesome content.
No, but I mean,
Yeah,
you
so you
don't
call
want,
my content pathetic?
I'm saying you don't want people subscribing to you out of fear.
Oh, they won't. Everyone loves Marty. Everybody loves Marty. Thank you, Scott. See, and I've got friends too. And it's not only Scott, he's a minister. Scott's a minister, so they'll totally believe him on the stand. He's a minister.
all right.
Yay, Jesus.
So we found out what's going on. We found out what's going on with all you. As for me, this is the off Friday, so there'll be no movie, but there will be voting. I'm going to make it happen this week. I didn't get it to happen the other week, so I went with backup votes from previous voting sessions. But you can vote for the movie. Follow me on Twitter. My Instagram isn't working at the moment. I hope it'll work again. But follow me on Twitter and Instagram at _Ethel_Cross_. And you can vote for the movies that we watch on Watch Along. And you can talk to me because I'll talk to you back. What do I going on? No Watch Along this weekend or this week, but it will be next Friday. But Sunday, Sci-Fi Sunday is back. And in the spirit of April, in the spirit of Easter, we are going to be talking about a very special individual in history, someone that has died for our sins and defended and helped the weak and helpless and the sick, and died for our sins and was resurrected to save us all. I am, of course, talking about Mothra. We're going to be talking about Mothra on Sunday. It's going to be great. Everybody loves that moth. So don't forget to tune in this coming Sunday for Sci-Fi Sunday. We're talking about Mothra. We're talking about the movies, the character, everything to do with that wonderful god of kaiju. And don't forget to subscribe and follow everybody that's been on the panel. I sincerely would like to thank them all. I thank my good friend Trenchy from Sola's Trenchcoat, my good pal Jen from Jen's Views from the Grave, my pal Kara from The Master of Fear, my good pal Sasha from Sexy Monkey, my pal fucking Marty from Trash Picture Show, long-standing friend of the channel and friend of mine. And I want to thank everybody in the chat. I might miss a few people, but there was John Steele, there was Kelly, there was Ben Grimm, there was Scott Stevens, there was DMC Campbell, there was see, I'm blanking on names already, but we had Kubrick, we had Brian in there, we had Sparky, Scooter, fucking Christian. Forgetting your name, buddy, but you're there. I saw you there. We had people. And anybody I forgot? Huh?
Mac was on there for a little bit, I think.
And Mac. We had the Mac attack, and we had the Horror Boy. We had Nate the Horror Boy. How could I forget these guys? They're great friends of mine. Yeah. Go ahead, check these people out, hit them up as well, and thank you to everybody in the chat that wasn't visible. I see you there, lurking. I hear the physical, the tapping noises. It's fine. The heavy breathing, I don't mind it. It's great. Thank you. And if you like this content, you like this channel, you like the videos you see here, leave me a thumbs up. Leave me a little comment in the chat section. I'll talk to you. I'll respond to it. I'll give it love. And if you don't like what I'm doing, you want it to stop, you're crying out loud, bitch, shut up already. That's what you want to say. Leave a comment, leave a thumbs down. I can take it. I need the criticism. It's fine. I accept it. And if you're really enthused, you want to know every time I'm on, every time something happens, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell. You'll be notified every time. Just pop up in your feed. You'll see it. You'll be here, and you won't be square. That aside, thank y'all for tuning in. I will see you Sunday for the next Sci-Fi Sunday. And yeah, thanks a lot. Adios.
Stay frosty.
Bye, guys.
Long yeah.
I've lost a finger.
Stop,